Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Miguel from UCGym.com, bringing you an all-new video, and today we're going to discuss why eating raw food is such an important thing to do and how it can benefit you in your pursuit of fitness or bodybuilding or whatever it may be. Now, raw food is very beneficial in that it has enzymes. Enzymes are small chemicals or hormones in your body that are used to help catalyze, meaning to speed up the production of chemical reactions in your body. Now, these chemical reactions include food digestion, muscle repair, muscle growth, and the list goes on of what enzymes do. Now, enzymes are found in raw food. When you cook food, you denature the enzymes and you kill them off, and you oftentimes denature the macronutrients that are found in the food, such as the proteins, fats, and carbs. Eating cooked food is good for you in that you're getting all the nutrients you need, but oftentimes you denature food and you lose many of the nutrients that you could have had in it from eating it raw. Now, you can't necessarily eat a raw potato because it tastes bad and it has some chemicals that can be poisonous if eaten raw. Eating the raw food is more beneficial because all the nutrients that are found in that food stay in the food and they do not get killed off during cooking. So if a package of meat says that this steak contains 20 grams of protein per pound, that means that that's 20 grams of protein per pound raw. Now when you cook it, you may lose some of that protein and drop it down to maybe 17, 15, or something in that area. Same thing with potatoes. A potato that's probably 8 ounces or so can have, let's say, 20 carbs. Now, 20 grams of carbs is a good amount, but when you cook that potato, you're losing some of those carbs and you're wasting some of that good nutrients found in that food. So eating the food raw can be much more beneficial, including the enzymes that are found in that food that will make your muscle repair, muscle growth, energy strength, and all of that will come through eating the raw food. So eating raw food will make your endeavors and your meals much more beneficial. So you're probably thinking, how are you going to eat raw meat? Or how are you going to eat raw vegetables to get your carbs? Well, it's a little difficult in that you can have your raw protein from raw meats and raw eggs and things like that, but you have to be sure that those proteins are pasteurized or pastured meats or things that are very well cleaned, killed off with the bacteria is killed off in those food items. So with the eggs, you can't eat unpasteurized eggs raw, in that there's a chance to get salmonella, but you can eat pasteurized eggs raw and get all the protein from that egg without cooking it off and denaturing all those enzymes. Same thing with meat. A grass-fed cow, which is slightly more expensive than your standard beef, it's safer to eat raw, and you're going to get all that protein in and all those enzymes to help with your protein breakdown, protein synthesis, and things like that. Now, if you don't want to eat raw meat or raw eggs, there's always fish. Fish is very easily consumed raw. You can have sushi or you can have ceviche, where you cook the fish or any sea item, but not with heat, but with lime or lemon. The lemon will cook it, make it tender, and you can still eat it raw, and you get all those enzymes and proteins from it. If you don't want to eat any meats or eggs, there's always nuts. You can eat nuts raw, and you get good amounts of protein, and you get some fats from the nuts. Now that we're done with protein, we can move on to the carbs. The carbs are going to be a little harder to get in, probably on the same level of protein difficulty, in that the main amount of carbs you get usually are from starches, which are complex carbs, and those are usually from root vegetables like potato, sweet potato, yam, or you can have carbs from rice or pastas, which you are going to have to cook to eat. But eating any other vegetable or fruit, you will get your carbs in. Fruits have sugar in them, and sugar is a simple carb. Now, eating fruit daily, you'll get probably 20 grams of carbs in if you eat probably an apple or a banana a day or mix it up. Same thing with vegetables. You can eat your carrots raw, you can eat broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, kale, all these other vegetables, leafy greens or root vegetables. All of those have carbs in them, and they're really healthy for you. Eating them raw, you'll keep all the macros in there, such as the carbs, the very little fat, and the very little protein. And you'll get your micronutrients in, like your vitamins and minerals, which are oftentimes denatured through cooking. And with your fats will come in naturally through the carbs and your proteins, so you don't need to worry about consuming any fats on the offhand, but you can do so with eating nuts or peanut butter or anything oily. Now, when it comes to comparing eating raw food versus a cooked meal or a cooked food, of course, a cooked meal will taste a lot better and it'll feel more fulfilling. But when you eat the raw food, you'll get many more nutrients, many more benefits, and you'll save time, I guess, with eating the food without having to necessarily cook it, prepare it, and all those things. You can just rinse it and eat it. But just make sure that it's treated so that it doesn't have any bacteria. And yeah, you can enjoy your meal if it's raw. You can have your eggs or your meats or your fish. You know, fish is probably the easiest choice. You can eat fish raw pretty much any time as long as it's fresh fish, or your shrimp or anything like that. And your vegetables, ideally, you can have all the vegetables minus the starchy vegetables, like the root vegetables, being that some of them are poisonous if eaten raw. But you can eat a sweet potato raw, or so I've heard. So you can do that and eat your raw food. And you don't have to eat raw food daily. That's not what I'm trying to convey here. I'm just trying to say that eating raw food is a lot more beneficial than cooked food. And of course it'll be difficult to get used to, but you can eat those raw foods every other day or every other 2-3 days or once a week. Just doing that, you will give your body many more enzymes to help speed up those chemical processes in your body. This isn't to say that enzymes only come through raw food, because your body does produce enzymes on its own, but introducing more enzymes and a greater amount of them, you'll be able to speed up chemical processes and recover more, or recover easily. So keep all this stuff in mind when choosing whether or not you can eat something cooked or raw. When you're putting vegetables on your next meal, think about whether you want to cook them or eat them raw. And if you ever have the chance, do try eating raw food. Now, chicken you can eat raw as well, but just the thought of eating the raw chicken isn't really the most appealing because of the salmonella in it. But you can do it as long as it's, treated well. Alright, so this concludes this video. I hope I taught you something about enzymes and how they can help you in your fitness career or your fitness lifestyle. And make good decisions about what you eat. Try to avoid fast food and all that stuff. I mean, you know the drill. And, eat raw food, try it out once or, as many times as you like. And see if you feel any better after your workouts or in general. See how you feel after eating the raw food. And yeah, just let me know down in the comments how you feel, what you'd like to know. If you have any questions or comments about it, let me know as well, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. If you want to see more things like this, more content, more helpful tips, head on over to UCGym.com and enjoy.